Excuse me, Helene? Jeanette?
Yes.
Your presentation tonight, there was some ground where, again, you're saying that you don't feel that you should have a public consultation. Is there a specific reason why you're against having a public consultation?
Well, as mentioned in the presentation, consultation means that there are options open to discuss. There is only the one option. So instead, we could certainly have a presentation where we would explain why there is only one option. But it would be futile to have someone come to a meeting thinking that a different outcome could be had when indeed there is only one outcome.
We had a direct quote from Minister Matthews on this exact subject, and she said that there should be a public consultation. It's printed on Cornwall Free News, and it was basically what she sent is what we printed. So if the minister feels there should be a public consultation, why are you guys again against having a public consultation? With all the petition and the other stuff that's gone on, why not simply have a public consultation?
The consultation took place between the years of 1998 and 2003 when the decision was to be had for which site, whether it be the general or the Hotel Du, to be chosen for the new site for Cornwall Community Hospital. So that was the consultation that took place, and it has already gone by. So at this point, there is nothing in terms of an issue to consult for. The issue has been made in an agreement between the ministry and the hospital. So that agreement is binding.
The quote again from Minister Matthews stated that there'd been no communications yet with a request to sell the facility. But I'll go backwards. Has there been?
There has been.
Okay.
We're in the process.
So you're saying the minister was wrong?
No, I'm saying that you misunderstood what she means. What she means is after we have gone through the process and we have a final plan for, so we have a buyer, let's say, or someone to lease or whatever, then we have to go back to the ministry. So we are keeping the ministry in contact with ourselves to give them the information as we go down those steps.
How long have you been on the board?
This is my 8th year.
Okay. During those 8 years, have you ever reached out or been reached out to by any community organizations to find a use for that facility? When I interviewed Ms. LeClaire, for example, and we had those 32 beds in the interim and the short term, if we had another need for that again and the hospital is sold, do you have capacity at the hospital to fulfill that?
Well, as you heard Mr. Rivette say, that the Lynn has said, according to him, I wasn't there, so I would be repeating only what he has said, is that the Lynn is open to taking care of anyone who happens to be in that overflow catchment.
Right, but that's not my question. Do you have the beds available if there was funding from the Lynn's at the McConnell Hospital site?
There are no beds.
Right. So the only...
But there are the beds at the 2nd Street site that will be available until the building is vacated.
If you sell that building and you have a need and that hospital is gone, that facility is gone, where would you...
But we don't have a need. We're not in the long-term care business.
Okay.
So we would be providing the acute care services, and as Mrs. Despatie said in her presentation, that we have already put in for a request to have some assess and restore in the hospital when we have everything moved into the different
Going back to my previous question, over the last 8 years, have you reached out to the community to find alternative uses for the 2nd Street facility, or have you been approached by different services just like you were for the short-term 32 beds? Okay. Is there not any benefit to having partnerships like you talk about with different organizations and maintaining that facility?
In maintaining the facility?
For the community?
Well, we have maintained it. It has been full. It is full right now. So,
so if it's full right now, why are we selling it? Why are we emptying it?
Because the programs that are there are moving to the McConnell site.
Right.
So it will become empty.
Well, are all of the services moving to the McConnell site?
If you listen to the presentation, there are 2 specific ones that will be moving in the very near future. The rest by mid 2014.
Right. And the last question is, we're getting reports that the addiction treatment staff currently are all basically losing their positions. They've all been given notices or retirement packages. If you're consolidating or moving some of those services over to the main facility, why not bring the older staff over to the new facility?
Okay. Well, the new program that is being offered requires a different set of skills to be able to provide the services.
Such as?
Well, I don't have the exact specifics of...
What we're being told is it's linguistic, that basically the new hires have to be high-level proficiency bilingual.
No, that would be incorrect as far as I know.
So again, these people that have been working to high quality and standards of your fine institution, taking care of these people in these services, but they're not qualified for the new...
Well, withdrawal management is not part of our hospital. It's a community service that we are affiliated with right now, but we have Christine Penny, who works with the services. She oversees the services, but right now we're in the process of acquiring that service.
That's the addiction services based in Ontario. However, the withdrawal management program is one of our community programs, and the changes that are being made there from a residential to a community model are based on best practice. We know that we're under-servicing our population. Our occupancy runs between 25 and 40%, and that of that 25 to 40%, only 57% of the clients come from SD&G. The rest come from Ottawa, Carleton, Brockville, etc. We know that best practice today, dealing with addictions, and we know that the drugs of choice have changed, dealing with addictions are much better met through a community program and a community model that has longevity in the engagement with the client. So it's really this change in model is really to address the needs of the community and those particular clients. It's a unique population. We know that, and I think it's indicative, we know that we have an addictions issue in Eastern Ontario, in particularly our area. And to see a program running at 25 to 40% occupancy is a clear indicator to us that we're not servicing in the appropriate way. So we've done a fair but quite extensive research into how we improve that. I think there are about 14 of these programs across the province that are now coming up in order to meet the needs of the addiction folks, those individuals requiring the care. What I will say is that it does require a different skill set, a different education in terms of meeting those, and that's where we get into the unfortunate position when we're managing the staff. I can assure you that that process is articulated in the union contracts, and we're working through that, but that is the why. It's really about meeting the patient or the client need.
All right, thank you very much.